What is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video today. And in today's video I'm going to be sharing some strategies that I'm currently using combining Google ads and Facebook ads that are helping me achieve $10,000 a day on both of my stores combined. As you guys know, I have a US and a UK store. Combined they are doing just about $10,000 a day at the moment, and that is thanks to a combination of Google and Facebook ads. Now just before we get started, if you guys could drop a like down below, that really would help me out, and also subscribe if you are new around here. And if you are currently running Google ads for your store, I do have a Google ads agency. If you are interested in us helping you out grow your Google ads account and your store in general, just drop me a message on Twitter or Instagram. I'll leave links to those down below and we can get that all sorted for you. But guys, jumping into this video, as I mentioned at the start, we are doing around $10,000 a day on both sites combined with the power of Facebook and Google ads. And I'm going to be sharing some strategies that I'm using that essentially combine these ad platforms to give really good results. And some of these strategies don't require a big budget at all. Now if we just jump into the first thing here, you can see, and if you've already watched some of my videos, you'll know about 75% of my daily ad spend is on Google. It was about 90% on Google about 2 months ago, I would say, or even a month ago. But over the last week or two, I've ramped up my Facebook ad spend because these strategies are doing really well for me. So around 25% of my ad spend each day across both sites is on Facebook. Now, not all products I sell are problem solving products. I'm putting this as the first point just because I get so many questions from people on Twitter, Instagram, in the comments down below about winning products and this and that, and I'll get into that in a bit more detail in a minute. But please don't worry, when it comes to Google shopping ads, you don't need a product that solves a problem for it to perform well. I think I said in my last video, about 90% of my products that I sell on Google Shopping and Google ads in general do not solve any problems whatsoever. So please bear that in mind and do not stress if you can't find products that solve problems, because it's not the end of the world, trust me. Now, I'm going to be going through very quickly my Google ad account structures on each Google ad account, just so I can briefly break down what's going on in there and give you guys an overview. If you want a more detailed guide on my Performance Max strategy, please go on my channel. I think it's my first ever upload ever since coming back to YouTube, so check that out. That is my Performance Max campaign strategy, and it's essentially the strategy I'm still using now to obviously generate some very nice numbers. Okay, now jumping into my USA Google ad account, this data you see on your screen right now is for this month, that's August. Obviously you can see August the 1st up to the 30th here. Now you might be wondering, okay, conversion value sort of going down a bit here towards the end. That is because 7 days ago, so it probably would be around here, August 24th, I increased my target ROAS on pretty much every campaign apart from one. I think I upped the target ROAS by 50% on all these campaigns just to try and bring my profit margin up a little bit, and it has worked. Obviously daily ad spend is going to drop a bit when you do that, but my ROAS is steadily climbing, you can see here, and I've even noticed already the profit margins are going up nicely. So those are the figures for my American site Google ad account. Just moving myself down here so you guys can see these figures. Now I'm not going to go too much into what exact strategies I'm using on a campaign level. I'm just going to go over the structure. Like I said, if you want more details on the strategies I'm using for Performance Max campaigns, go on my channel, there's at least 2 videos about it. But essentially I break my products up into separate groups and run Performance Max campaigns separately. Some people will tell you differently. Some people will say, you know, just have all your products in one campaign. Personally, that's not how I like to do it. There isn't a right or wrong way to do it, but this is just how I do it and what has worked for me. So I essentially have 2 bucket campaigns, a high ticket campaign and a low ticket campaign. These are groups of products that are obviously selling for a high price and then a low price. They're big campaigns, they've got a lot of products in. And then the other 2 or 3 Performance Max campaigns I've got are single product campaigns, and the third one is a campaign with literally just 2 products in, so it's basically a single product campaign anyway. But those single product campaigns and the one with 2 products in spend most of the budget. They spend more than the bucket campaigns because those are the products that have a lot of demand on Google search and get the clicks and get the conversions, so I've decided to scale them by putting them into their own campaigns. Now the other campaigns you see, I'm obviously blurring them out here. We've got things like DSA campaigns, remarketing campaigns, dynamic remarketing campaigns, brand search campaigns, that sort of thing. I've done a video on brand search, so check that out on my channel. This is the bottom campaign here, and you can see 23 ROAS this month. It's just an easy campaign that spends about £5-6 a day, or $7 or $8 a day, generates really cheap conversions. It's a must-have if you're running Google Ads. And just jumping into my UK Google Ad account, this is that was yesterday. If we just go to this month, you can see again a very consistent month. We are getting close to a 3 ROAS now. Some of you might not think that's incredibly high, but when you're running Facebook ads as well that are performing really well, when you have a strong back end, and when you have a good repeat customer rate, which is something I focus on a lot, because with normal dropshipping stores, people are not really going to ever come back and buy when they've experienced really long shipping times. Yes, I still dropship from China, either with AliExpress or my shipping agents, but I provide the customers with a great product, a good experience, transparency throughout, so it brings them back through things like email marketing, SMS marketing, remarketing on Facebook and Google. So my overall customer retention is really good, which gives me a lot of extra revenue and brings those profit margins up nicely, which is very important. So definitely be focusing on your repeat customer rate and building a brand. If you've got a solid brand, people will come back over and over again. So that is a brief structure of my Google Ads accounts. If you've got any questions, guys, just drop a comment down below. I'm happy to answer them all. I do try and answer them all. I definitely read all your comments. Now, one thing to note is Google does take a lot longer to optimize than Facebook, but in the long run, for me anyway, it has provided much more consistent results. You just saw there on the monthly basis for this month, a very consistent month. My UK site's been running for about 2.5 years now, and it has been consistent from the very beginning. Very good results, and we are slowly scaling each month. Same with my US site. I started it last summer. The last 3 or 4 months, I've really ramped up the scaling, and it's doing really well. So if you are new to dropshipping and you're wanting a quick overnight success, you know, those overnight success millionaire stories, it's not a thing with Google Ads. You need your patience, you need a decent budget as well to test. Otherwise, if you're just going to spend $5-10 a day on Google, you're not really going to get anywhere. I know it's brutal, I know it's harsh, but that is the reality of it. But when you get it right, it is so good for your business, and that's why I've spent the last 2-3 years learning Google Ads and absolutely nailing the strategies. Now, one thing I want to mention in this video, and this is a question that is probably the most asked question I get at the moment, is how many products should I test with Google Ads? Now, firstly, it's not about testing products until you find a winner with Google. Focus on building a congruent site, a professional looking website, and build a strong brand through your website with images, good copy, good descriptions, and that sort of thing. And overall, just having a very good, strong looking website. Having products that relate and complement each other as well really helps. And another thing, you might have products that don't perform well on Google. I have products that don't perform well on Google, but it doesn't mean I'm just going to get rid of them off of my website, because these products might not do well with Google paid ads, you know, Google Shopping, Google Search. But if you get some good organic traffic for that and leave it on your website for a while, you are going to get organic traffic, and that could convert, and that's a free conversion because you're not paying for organic traffic. And as well, and if that product's on your website and people are just browsing around, it might catch the eye of someone and they'll add it to the cart along with the other items in their order, and then it just increases your average order value. So there's no such thing as a bad product when it comes to Google Ads. You can always make something work. There's so many angles you can test it with on Google, and if you are adamant it really doesn't work with paid Google Ads, just leave it. It could still get sales from people just browsing, or the organic method I just mentioned there. And just following on from that previous point, a lot of people ask me, you know, should I start with a 1 product store with Google? How many products should I test? I personally started my UK store, like I said, 2.5 years ago, with about 30 to 35 products, and I gradually added them over time. I've got about 130 products on my UK site now. In the earlier days, I added a lot more frequently, sort of, you know, a handful each week. But now I literally add a product once every 3 to 4 weeks on that site. Because I've built a strong brand, I don't necessarily need to flood the store with new products all the time. I'm always looking for new products, and if one that stands out that really does fit the brand, I will add it, but I'm in no rush to do so. And if you want to know how I do identify good products to sell on Google that do have a good chance of doing well with paid ads, I do have a video on my channel. I'll leave a link at the top of the description to that product research video, and I also give you guys 5 examples of products I think would do well with Google Ads. Now, moving on to my Facebook strategies, this is more so the part of the video that you guys should take note of, and these are some strategies that might not even cost you a lot of money to test and try out, but they do work very well for me anyway, so definitely try them yourself. It is essentially using my own Google Ads data. I basically take my best performing products and test them on Facebook, because if a product is converting well on Google, odds are I've already made a very high converting landing page or product page, So the chances of it working on Facebook and converting on Facebook are already quite high because it has already proven itself on another platform. A lot of you might think, oh, I've got to now make a fancy video ad for Facebook. That is certainly not the case. Currently on one of my Facebook accounts, I'll show you in a minute, I have a £300 a day CBO just for one product that is my best-selling Google product. It is now doing really well on Facebook. It is literally a singular image ad with a good piece of ad copy, and that is literally it. And that's obviously this point here I've just said. So don't stress about making all these fancy Facebook ad videos and, viral style videos. If you've got a very good performing product on Google, just try it on Facebook. If you've got some decent images, it could work. It's not going to work all the time. I've tried it with so many products. Some products certainly haven't worked, but more often than not, I do see some very decent results using this method. And when it comes to Facebook, if you notice it doing well with this method quickly, you can scale your Facebook ads a lot quicker than you can with your Google. Just an example, I recently scaled from £100 a day to £400 a day in a 1 week period with a single product Facebook CBO. That was the campaign I just mentioned a minute ago. It's currently sitting at around £300 a day a budget. I just brought it down slightly because the ad frequency was going up. But in the space of 7 days, I launched it with a £100 a day budget, and within 7 days, it was up to a £400 a day budget and remaining very profitable indeed. And the final strategy that you definitely should take on board and test in this video is a multi-platform retargeting strategy. Essentially, you want to make custom audiences on Facebook. I'm sure most of you know how to do that, where you can make a custom audience of people that have visited a specific URL on your website, see what products are getting clicked most on Google, and then make a custom audience on Facebook with people who only visited that URL. Then make a very cheap ad set or campaign just using that audience, and then you can retarget those visitors from Google who clicked your Google ads. You can retarget them on Facebook or Instagram with perhaps some new images of the product, some customer reviews, some videos if you do have any. Only a very small budget is required for this. For each product that I do this with, I usually spend around $5 to $10 a day on that particular ad set, just remarketing those visitors. And because the traffic is already warm traffic, because they're familiar with your product, they're familiar with your brand, the chances of these people converting is a lot higher than if you were to just launch a cold traffic Facebook ad. So if you are on a tighter budget, out of anything in this video, this is the one you want to be testing. So guys, I hope this video has been useful for you and you can take some of these tips on board and implement them into your e-commerce business. These are the things that I'm doing right now to generate upwards of $10,000 a day on my Shopify stores combined. Now, various areas in this video, like the product research and the Performance Max campaigns on my Google account, I've gone into more specific detail in their own individual videos. You'll find them on my channel, so check them out if you want some more info on those. Like I said, if you've got any questions, drop a comment, drop me a message on socials. And if you want my Google Ads agency to manage and grow your Google ad account, also drop me a message as well. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.